Widows, balls of ghouls, how are we all doing? Today, I'm going to be getting myself into some trouble. A lot of you may remember something that happened long before my time on YouTube called Bone in the Wall. It caused absolute carnage in the community. It divided certain teams that used to work together. You know, some friendships were lost and etc, etc. Now, if you don't know what Bone in the Wall is, a number of teams, including Proving Demons, Exploring with Fighters, Dark Arts was kind of involved, and Steve from the Ouija Brothers, and I believe Exploring with Josh. At different times, these all went to this location. It was like one of the urbexy, ghost hunty type things, an abandoned property. And this is the very beginning of the Ouija Brothers' career. And I think the first visit was Proving Demons and Steve from the Ouija Brothers, and Andrew from Proving Demons is doing his spirit box. It's not a spirit box, it's a radio, and he's turning the dial himself. He's controlling the speed of it. Of course he's going to get false positives. Whether he believes it or not, I don't know. I doubt it. And then something comes through the radio along the lines of, I'm in the wall. Or that's what Andrew says it says. And Steve's like, yeah, maybe. And as far as I knew, that was the level of the involvement with the Ouija Brothers. Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, number one, the absolute shit show that happened on YouTube last night, where Proving Demons went live and blatantly lied about the Ouija Brothers live stream, lied about their involvement in Bone in the Wall, and lied pretty much about everything else to do with the thing. And you may be wondering why a debunker that wasn't around at the time would want to cover this. Number one, I want to stand up for my friends. Steve and Griff are personal friends of mine. We barely talk about the paranormal for the most part. Me and Steve talk about horror movies and our families. Me and Griff talk about gaming. We live the paranormal all day, every day. So when we talk, it's not about the paranormal. It's about our everyday lives and hobbies. Now, some people out there believe that there is a problem with me and Griff. There is an issue with me and Griff. Me and Griff have played up to that. Basically, around 2 years ago, I went on an investigation with Steve. We put our perspective videos out. People were like, where's Griff? Griff hates Beardo. And we all laughed, and then me and Griff played up to it. If I go into a Ouija Brothers live stream or into a chat section of a premiere, Griff gives me shit, I give Griff shit. It's just what we do. People latched onto that, not realising that while most of this was going on, we were live streaming on my channel playing Texas Chainsaw or Phasmophobia. Me and Griff do actually get on. Most people understand that it's mostly banter with me and Griff, or we are playing up to people that were basically getting a big wooden spoon and doing this, trying to stir it up. There is no issue with me and Griff. We get on, we've been to theme parks together, we've, just chilled out in Steve's house. There's never been an issue. Now, there's always been a question mark over the Ouija Brothers' involvement in Bone in the Wall, but for the most part, I was one of those that looked in from the outside after the fact and went, why are they getting shouted at? They were barely there. Griff wasn't actually there. 6 months ago, Dan from Exploring with Fighters brings out a video, or he live streams from his home, basically saying Bone in the Wall was fake and this is everything that happened. And I assume he still has the bone because he had a pillow over his lap. Maybe he had a boner. That was a terrible joke, but I'm keeping it in. From the outside looking in, Dan came clean, fair play to him. I don't know why it took 6 years, but then you do a little bit of looking, and Carl from Dark Arts was going to expose everything from Bone in the Wall because he was the person that gave him the bone. But we'll go back to the story. Andrew does the woo-woo box. I'm in the walls. They keep going back to this house and investigating, and this is where it gets a bit iffy. They start removing bricks and mortar, and they've got hammers and chisels, and yeah, they're basically damaging this. It's a shithole, but in the eyes of the police, it's probably considered criminal damage. They start digging into this wall, they make numerous visits, and they build up quite a bit of hype around this thing. All ending in a video where Andrew is pulling bricks out of the wall, he's coughing his guts up. Boys, don't you believe in asbestos? And then he jumps back and sort of screams and runs about a bit. And then he's like, bro, did you see? Bro. They look in the hole in the wall. If you watch it now and you look at the bone, there are clearly holes drilled in. I think it may be like a femur bone. You got the two balls that sit into your hip sockets on the top. There's holes in them. Drilled holes, as in there would be wirework, metal wirework going through them as part of a cadaver for science, or you'd see in a doctor's office, or you'd see in a science lab, some schools. This thing was clearly off one of these, you donate your body to science type deal. But it was missed back then. Maybe YouTube quality wasn't as good. I don't know. And then when they discovered this bone, Dan from Exploring with Fighters says we have to call the police, and then proceeds to dial 101, call the police and say, we found a bone in the wall. We found human remains. Found a bone in the wall.
Cheshire Police.
That's it. No, you kind of know what's going on.
Cheshire Police. Come across what, sorry?
Human bones. We believe to be a human bone.
Now remember, they're phoning the police and reporting this thing.
3 days later, there's a news article, local ghost hunters, hoax. Yeah. There was these massive fallouts. And I'm not going to delve too deep into all of those fallouts all of these years ago, because I wasn't around. And I don't care. The reason I feel like I should be covering this is A, to stick up for my friends, B, it was one of the biggest paranormal hoaxes in the last decade on YouTube, specifically for UK channels. I wasn't on YouTube back then. I wasn't a viewer of the Ouija Brothers or any of them back then. But even back then, I heard of Bone in the Wall and all of the drama that surrounded it. I watched the odd episode. I watched a episode of the Ouija Brothers and was like, nothing's going on. There's nothing in these videos. This channel isn't for me. Idiot. It was only when I carried on, when I started investigating again around the same time, where I was like, actually, the Ouija Brothers are doing what I'm doing, but they're filming it. They're going out and recording their very real experiences of 99.9% of the time, fuck all happening. I like these guys. Dipped out, found them again through lockdown because I was bored, watched everything they've ever put out, really enjoyed them, and then it is important to see, I was under 1,000 subscribers when I first approached the Ouija Brothers. I want to make a reaction video to your content. I am a debunking channel, but I want to start showing some positivity, decent work that people are doing. And I was told, do what you want. Use whatever you want, and if you need anything, give us a shout. Very nice of them, very friendly of them. And the more people I've met in the paranormal field during my early days as on this channel, be it or get scared, the more people were saying, Steve's helped me with editing, Steve's helped me with this, helped me with that, show me how to make thumbnails, suggested titles to me. He's a helpful man. Fast forward to last night. 6 months ago, Dan from Exploring with Fighters does his coming clean about Bone in the Wall. And then last night, the Ouija Brothers basically react to it because of... they got so much shit back in the day about it. If you want to try and find all of that stuff, it's really hard because people remove live streams, put private live streams and all the rest of it. And I understand it. It was drama central. So while the Ouija Brothers are live, I start getting messages on my phone. Proving Demons has gone live and he is going fucking nuts on YouTube. You need to check this out. And I'm like, do I really? I've not got a great history with him. I did the video of him getting his arm stuck in his sleeve and rawr, and that pissed him off. I did the video of him going into a crypt and picking up a human skull, and that pissed him off. I don't know why. They were your actions, not mine. And I did the video of him doing a Ouija board in somebody's house and spraying ashes, and like, fuck me, somebody else owns that house now, they're painting it. And he got pissed at me there. What happened then was a personal argument broke out with me and Andrew from Proving Demons. We both went at each other very hard. Now, I did say things about Andrew that I regret saying, things about his hygiene and things about drugs. But in defense of the things I said about drugs, whilst he was in one of his drunken rampages on YouTube threatening me, he said something along the lines of, "You need to be careful of me, bro, because I used to work for a cartel, bro." Well, cartels are kind of known for drugs, so 2 and 2 to get. But eventually, it boiled over into Andrew doing a live stream where he was actually in tears, saying the words, "I fucking hate you, bro. Fucking hate you. You're a bully. You're nothing but a bully." And I'm like, Didn't you pull out a live stream saying you hope that I die in a car crash? Isn't it you that's made the threats? I've just made jokes and mocked you. Okay, I personally mocked you. That was unfair. And then Andrew comes into one of my live streams, and there's a little paragraph, and he's basically chewing me out. And the comedic part of me went, this'll piss him off. "Hey, Andrew, I don't want to hear any of the shit coming out of your mouth. You're banned." I hit the ban button, and then I actually banned him from chatting in my community. I thought it was hilarious. Andrew did not. Andrew went live at that moment and went nuts again. This time, I went into his live stream. And all I said was, "Hello." And his chat blew up. He's here, Beardo's here. And Andrew's like, "No, he's not. No, he's not." And then his ex-girlfriend was like, "He's in the chat." And initially, I was going to just rile him up a bit because he's, hoop-ah, doing shots. Hoop-ah, doing shots. Every time somebody donates, doing shots, which is why he removes his live streams, I imagine, because doing shots or donations is against YouTube terms of service. So he takes his videos down or his lives down, I assume. I may be wrong. So while I'm there, he says, "You said something about my girlfriend," his girlfriend at the time's weight. Now, I still don't remember saying anything about her weight. I have looked at the videos since. I didn't mention her weight. I think he lied to me. So, in the moment, I obviously hadn't rechecked my videos. I was like, fuck, did I go that far? I don't believe I did. So I apologise for anything personal I said about Kaylee. I apologise about anything personal I said about Andrew. But I stood by, listen, you put your hand in the grave. You picked out that head. You're in the wrong there, not me. You can't have a go at me for highlighting it when the video is still live on your channel. You're clearly proud of it. He was the house with the Ouija board, and he was like, "Listen, I don't like your content. I don't like you, but I understand why you were pissed off. I get it. I get it. And yeah, I have made mistakes." So I apologise to him for personal digs. He apologised to me for the threats and personal digs. And then we agreed to just draw a line in the sand and that be the end of it. A couple of months ago, he actually, for some bizarre reason, made me and Side-Eye Guy moderators on his channel. He was doing a live stream, and it was one of these drama, drunk-fueled live streams. And me and Seg were in there, kind of laughing. And he was like, "Hey, to prove I've got no issue with the debunkers, make the pair of them mods." And it was only last night I discovered I'm still a mod there. I won't be after this, clearly, but there seemed to be a bit of a chill in Andrew. Maybe he'd learned some lessons. Maybe he was going to calm the fuck down. Maybe he was going to stop threatening people and making stupid mistakes. And last night, he just turned into Andrew of old. Now, the Ouija Brothers live stream is still up. And they are more looking at it from the perspective of Dan and Dan's live stream. And then Steve telling his version of the events, because he's not been able to speak about it in 6 years. Griff tells his version of the events. And there was a lot of truths in there that may hurt some people, but the truth is the truth. Click on over to Andrew's live stream because my phone is blowing up. You need to watch this, you need to watch this. So I flick it open, I put it on. As he's saying, "Look, the Ouija Brothers are live talking shit about me. The Ouija Brothers are talking smack about me. The Ouija Brothers are bullying me." No, they weren't. No, they fucking weren't. You liar. Then he says, "The Ouija Brothers have been bullying me for years." This is the first time they've spoken about you in years. You're lying again. And you can try and defend it, and I will counter every defense you have about not being a liar with you, Dan, Carl, and everybody else at that house that was involved with that bone coming out of the wall lied. Thought you could get away with it, and it took 6 years for the truth to come out. There is something I completely forgot to put in this video, and it's basically the crux of this video, and bizarrely I forgot to mention it. Fighters and Demons actually said or alluded to the Ouija Brothers framed them both for this. That it was in fact the Ouija Brothers that placed the bone in the wall. That is the story that did the rounds for years, that damaged the Ouija Brothers' reputations, that caused them to receive an unprecedented amount of hate. And then it took 6 years for the truth to come out, that it was in fact Dan that put the bone in the wall, and he got the bone from Carl. It was never anything to do with the Ouija Brothers. But why did they get blamed? Back to past me. Me and Griff have always maintained that it was bullshit. So who do we side with there? The guys that you, personally Andrew, said would never amount to anything. The guys that would always be a tiny channel. The guys that you basically held back. And you did the same to me. You're a baby YouTuber. You'll never break 10,000 subscribers. You need to stop this toxic, nasty shit that you're doing, etc., etc. Well, the Ouija Brothers are 100k now. And yes, it's taken them a long time. But it's done with honesty. I'm over 50,000 subscribers within 2 years, Andrew. You are wrong. You were wrong about the Ouija Brothers. You were wrong about me. You behave like you have some moral high ground when your entire career is based off a lie. Bone in the wall, as far as I'm aware, is still the biggest thing that any of you guys on that side have done. And it is a lie. It was a hoax. This isn't me talking shit. Dan from Exploring Fighters has admitted as such. I stand in the camp of, once I catch somebody faking one thing, I'm done with them. It is a debunk, but by your side. So you go live, you say you're being bullied, and you're shouting and ranting and downing shots or whatever the fuck it is you were drinking. And then you say, are they talking shit about me? Are they talking shit about me? Somebody posting you, are they talking shit about me? There was a lot of people saying no, and you ignored all of it. You ignored all those people saying no. And then you say, Toady. I trust what Toady says. Toady watches the Ouija Brothers, he watches me, he watches you. He seems like a decent guy that supports whoever he wants to support. And Toady basically said, no, they're not talking shit about you, but Steve is starting to get a bit excited towards the end. Andrew looks at that comment, says, I trust Toad, or Toady, ignores the first portion of the comment that says, no, they are not talking shit about you, then just reads the second half. Steve's getting excited, is he? Bully, fucking that. You were picking and choosing live. You were picking and choosing elements so you could see they're picking on me. This is all about me. Look at them going at me. Me. Why have they got to cover me? Why are they grifting off me? Why are they riding my coattails? Well, Andrew, you need to understand, you can't get that angry and form that angry of an opinion when for the most part you barely featured in the story. You were just the guy that was there. They were discussing Carl giving the bone to Dan, and Dan having the idea and asking. It was the truth of the matter, as Steve remembers it, and as Dan, on his channel, put out there. If anything, they went harder at Dan than you. So why in the fuck were you sat in somebody's van, screaming, shouting, ranting, and being bullied? It was infantile. It was stupid, and it was very, very manipulative. Because you knew that they weren't talking shit about you, but every time somebody says something you don't like, you go live, you get drunk, and you slate people. You berate people, you end and your live streams disappear, brought in the maximum amount of views, and then you just leave with the carnage, but there's never any proof. At the risk of starting more drama, what a cowardly way to behave. Truly. If you're going to lash out the way you do, if you're going to react the way you do, stop hiding it. Stop stirring up your community and then just disappearing from it. You seem to not be able to back up everything you say and remove it. You've obviously got it set to auto-remove with good reason, because you break terms of service every time you open your mouth, for the most part. And then you started making some really, really stupid claims. And I've already mentioned them briefly. You said, and this is something you do all the time, I can prove that Griff threatened Dan's partner, a lady, and Dan's child. I can prove it. Do you want me to play the proof? Do you want me to do it? Do you want me to do it? Do you want me to do it? And then didn't produce any proof. And you've got a history of doing that. When you fell up with Carl from Dark Arts, you're like, I've got all this proof, I'm going to show the proof, I'm going to show the proof. If I get X amount of views and likes, if I get X amount of donations, I'm going to show the proof, I'm going to show the proof. You know what, bro? It's not worth it. I'll keep it to myself because it's just going to stir up more drama. That's another really, really shady, manipulative tactic. Now, did Griff say he was going to come around to all of you guys? I don't know. Possibly. I probably would have. Is Griff capable of threatening a child and a woman? Absolutely not. I know the guy. I know him pretty well. He is not the type of person to threaten a woman or a child. It's just beyond his scope as a human being. Also take into account this toxic, scummy side of YouTube that we are all constantly labelled. I've never petrol bombed each other's cars. We've never smashed each other's cars up. We've never had people come around our houses, putting windows through, and made our families fear for anything. Yet, somebody from your side that was going to come around my house and all the rest of it, you know, fucking exploring with Fanny, I ended up installing CCTV all around my house just in case, because, you know, he was going around damaging people's properties, threatening people, smashing cars up, smashing windows, and all the rest of it. But shit. Maybe he will come after me. He's told people he's coming after me. Unfortunately, I think exploring with Danny would end up in the sea looking for actual whales because he doesn't know how to spell whale. And I'm not throwing shade. What I'm saying is there's a lot of criminal behaviour coming from that side and nothing criminal from our side. And yet you want to shout, I'm going to prove this, I'm going to prove that, prove the other. And but all the times I'm aware of that you've done that and say you have the receipts and you're going to play this, play that, play the other. You're going to expose this, expose that, expose the other. You've never exposed a fucking thing. It's just words that leave your face. I don't know if you've done one too many shots and it's just the first idea that jumps into your head. You're a fully grown adult male and you're doing that shit now. I don't know if it's the alcohol that makes you do it, but it's not an excuse. Some people just don't learn from their mistakes. You said the Ouija Brothers are riding your coattails. The Ouija Brothers can't keep your name out of your mouth. I mean, I know them better than you do at this point. I've known them for a while. I'm friends with them. We've never discussed you, Andrew. Never. Despite my history and their history, we've never discussed it. So, and you're like, they're riding my coattails. They're obsessed with me. They're doing this because they need me. They need to grift off me. They need my views. They need my community. They're doing it for this. They're doing it for that. They're doing it for the other. You have 253,000 subscribers across 400 videos. That is fucking incredible. But when you consider the shock value you go for, not really unbelievable. Hey, look. 22Ks, 18Ks, 18Ks, 13Ks, 20K, 28Ks, but you're working with the UK's biggest faker there. Well done. Really Haunted and his daughter, which I believe is your ex. Well, I know is your ex. 20k, 29k, 28k, 41k, that's done quite well. 66k, that's done really well. 10k, 24, 33, that's done quite well. More bodies found. Best I don't check that, Andrew. 19k, 32. Your channel is not the monstrous machine that it once was. I mean, look at the views you used to get. Look at this. Your channel isn't anywhere near where it used to be. But, you know, still a respectable amount of views. But why are you saying that the Ouija Brothers are skimming off you? And the Ouija Brothers are using you for clout chasing, etc. when, yeah, this video's only 5 days old at 20k. 33, 46, 30, 43, 42, 36, 35, 34, 51, 59, 144... 30. Andrew, the Ouija Brothers do not need to ride your coattails. They do not need to grift off you because their channel is doing better than you at around 50% of the subscriber count of you. They're doing better than you. Not being horrible, but if you're going to make some bold claims like the Ouija Brothers are grifting off me, riding my coattails, picking on me, bullying me, or you make these stupid comments, and before you make these idiotic comments and stir up your community into a fucking frenzy, you need to go look at the facts. And the facts say they don't need you. They never needed you. They just wanted to put out the truth because they got a lot of shit about Bone in the Wall. And for 6 years, they've not been able to say and get the proof out because it was their word against yours. Now that Dan has said it was all fake, They can do that. Andrew, my viewing figures and yours are closer than yours and the Ouija Brothers. But then you made even more mistakes. For example,
you guys collaborated with Carl and got police involved, right? So that was interesting. That's something a friend would do, right? You know, if one of my friends killed somebody, I probably, depending on the circumstance, I'd probably have their back, you know? It's pretty backstabbing, to be honest with you, calling the police on your friends. Just throwing it out there, we were friends. You guys called the cops on us.
That's right. Andrew blames the Ouija Brothers for calling the police on them to get them into trouble. Yet.
Just a brief.
That's it. No, you kind of know what's going to go on.
Just a brief. Please come across what, sorry?
Human bones. Well, we believe to be a human bone.
Now remember, they're phoning the police and reporting this thing.
It was actually your friend that you were stood next to that called the police on you. On yourselves. You lot put a bone in a wall to stage some dramatic video. It worked in your favour because it got over 2 million views. You called the police knowing that you were lying, knowing that you'd faked something. The police turned up. You got these massive views, and when the Ouija Brothers spoke out because they knew what had happened, they were vilified for it. They were the bad guys, they were the villains. Same as I was the bad guy when I said, you can't pick up that skull out of the grave, that's disgusting. I don't know why you keep doing these really bad, stupid things and then blaming other people for it. Sure, a lot of time has passed. One of your big arguments on your live was, this was 6 years ago, man. Why are they covering it now, man? Because technically this drama is only 6 months old. Because that's when Dan did his live stream admitting to everything. Then you have to take into account the Ouija Brothers pretty much took 4 months off from the summer till they come back in January. There's nearly 4 months where they didn't do anything. So now your complaint of 6 years is now only 2 months. This is only the second live stream back. So no, it hasn't been done to target you. No, it hasn't been done to hurt you personally. You barely featured in it anyway, but this is the first opportunity they've had to do it after taking a break from YouTube. Not being nasty, no horribleness, nothing like that. Just pure facts. You, for 6 years, defended the bone in the wall incident and for 6 years maintained it to be real. And made out anyone that naysayed you as the villains. Your friend comes out and says the entire thing was staged. This is how we did it. In that 6 years, nobody apologised to the Ouija Brothers. I believe that Dan has apologised to the Ouija Brothers since. I've had personal interactions with Dan, Exploring Fighters Dan. He seems like a nice enough guy to me. When the whole thing with Exploring with Fanny blew up, you know, a year and a half ago, whatever it was, Exploring with Fighters Dan was the guy to message me, say, listen, Exploring with Dan, he's fucking looking for you. He can be dangerous. This is what he's done. I'm bringing out a video about it all. I just need to warn you. Fucking fair play to him. I spoke to Carl from Dark Arts during this time as well. Carl from Dark Arts. Across as a very nice guy. Do I like their content? No. Do I believe their content? No. As people, they looked out for me despite knowing what I think of them. There's a little bit of respect there. Fair play. If anyone had the right to complain last night, it would be Dan. But at the end of the day, anyone that was going to go after the Ouija Brothers for putting their side across last night, that was involved in that bone in the wall, needs to go and look in a mirror. They need to look at themselves and understand that you defended a lie for 6 years, vilified somebody for 6 years, held them back for 6 years. You need to understand that what you did was you faked your paranormal evidence. You got something through a spirit box and then you created a story around that and you hid it for 6 years. And now you're upset that people that were dragged through the mud because of it have spoken out. You're defending a lie. So who do we believe? Who do we side with? I'm not telling anyone who to believe or who to side with, but Exploring with Fighters, Al from Dark Arts, and all the others that were involved in the specifically putting the bone in the wall or getting the bone to the wall, putting it in, pulling it out and going, look, call the police. That's all on you guys, and then the lies you told after to defend that content. You can't then start screaming and shouting you're being bullied because the only people at the time that when that ain't right, they lied. You can't go at them now because they were proven right. 6 years later, they were proven right. Your live stream, from my perspective, was really, really funny. I was watching a fully grown man having a fucking hissy fit because somebody told the truth. And it's the third or fourth time you've done it. What a knob. Sorry, but what a knob. And then it got really nasty. There were things being said. Griff basically went into your live stream. After the end of the live, Griff went in there to defend himself. That's his right. I did it a year ago or 2 years ago, whenever it was. I turned up in your live stream, defended myself. And you're sat there like, I demand, Griff. I demand you apologise to me. For what? You should have apologised to him. I demand that Griff says this. I demand that Griff says that. I demand the proof from Griff. I demand the truth from Griff. Griff starts hitting you with truth and facts, and you blocked him. There were people in that live saying, Andrew, you need to calm down, and they were getting blocked. There were people in there from both sides that watch both channels and enjoy both channels just getting timed out everywhere. And I could see it because I'm a moderator on your channel, and you've clearly forgotten. I'm just watching tons of people get removed. But you sat there screaming at Griff to do this, do that, do the other, and then you blocked him when he did. It was comedy gold. You got so angry that nobody was speaking to you, and then when they did, you took offence to it and blocked them. You see the irony here, right, Andrew? You got annoyed that somebody dared speak out against you that was involved, and you blocked them. When you came into my live stream to do the same thing and I blocked you, you told everyone you hoped that I died in a car crash because you knew I was on my way to my haunted hotel. Wow, did the pot call the kettle? And listen, I understand everyone that's going to say, Beardo, you're biased because they are your friends. I completely understand that. I probably am biased because they are my friends. At least I'm fucking honest about it. However, the facts are, Andrew claimed the Ouija Brothers are riding his coattails or grifting off him, or however many different ways he could have worded it. They may have less subs than you, but they are a bigger, more popular channel than you. That is now a fact. Fact number 2. You have a history of anytime somebody disagrees with you, going live, screaming, shouting, smoking, drinking, and behaving really, really... I don't know, you haven't been sectioned with some of the behaviour that you have done on live stream. Just saying, well, I know why you haven't get sectioned, because you keep removing them to hide everything. And let's not forget, you have form for creating drama on your live streams for the sake of it. But you've got form for it, Andrew, because the whole thing when I did videos on you, you were like, Ghost Theory put him up to that. No, they didn't. That was you trying to shift blame and to manipulate your audience into feeling sorry for you. At one point, you were still banging on about me and Ghost Theory were teaming up to bring you down and all this shit, not realising, because you only watch your own channel, I imagine, not realising that me and Ghost Theory had been at war with each other for 3 months. And you're like, yeah, Ghost Theory put them up to that. I was like, I can't fucking stand them. They can't stand me. What are you on about? That didn't happen. In a way, I actually stuck up for Ghost Theory by saying they were nothing to do with it because we don't get on. I have no desire to get on with them. That is wrong. You have a history of making outlandish claims. For example, we found a human bone in the wall. Look how real this is. Call the police. No. You put that bone in the wall and called the police for drama. And then when I think back to the skull in the crypt video that I did, I mean, you did that for drama. You tried to basically recreate bone in the wall. You do things for shock value. You try to shock your audience into watching, and it works. The issue is when you shock people, some people see that as a negative. And then when they speak out, you go live and you're like, oopa, I hope you die. Oopa, bro, I used to work for the fucking mafia or whatever other bullshit you're coming out with. Oopa. And the more drunk you get, the more bullshit you spew. You can't keep a coherent story when you're drinking. You can't keep a coherent story when you're getting that angry. You are visibly seething on a lot of your live streams, and the stuff you see is ridiculous. It could get people locked up. Well, you. And you did it last night. You called me a pedo. What the fuck? Griff's in your chat. No, I didn't. You called us. And then it became a name-calling, mudslinging thing. I don't know. I wasn't there. Nobody showed any proof. However, you have to take into account that you were in a relationship with Really Haunted's daughter, who was barely out of school, and you were a much older-looking man. Some people have said things like, she was underage. I think that's an American thing with certain states. The age of consent is 18. In the UK, it's 16. Listen, I don't agree with it. If you're a 16-year-old girl and your boyfriend is 18, I suppose that's fine. If you're a 16-year-old girl and your boyfriend is in his 40s, that guy in his 40s probably needs to belong in a cell. It's a little bit close, you know what I'm saying? Legally, it's fine. Morally, it is bankrupt as fuck. You weren't in your 40s, but you were a damn sight older than her at 16. A lot of people were trying to tell me that, you know, she was younger than that. I saw no proof of it. I kept my mouth shut about it. As far as I know, it was all legal. Immoral, but legal. But if I had been Lee from Really Haunted, I'd have been inside. I'd have been inside. My daughter is now 21, and if she comes home with a man in his 40s, he's leaving this house quite injured. It's just immoral and wrong. And you can defend that whichever way you want. That's my morals versus your morals. Same as I wouldn't go into a crypt and pull a head out and be like, this is for science, and then poke you with a stick. I wouldn't go into somebody's house just before they're moving in there, spraying ashes and doing Ouija boards. The house clearly doesn't belong to somebody anymore. You can defend those things however which way you want. You have defended those things. You're still in the wrong. You're still in the wrong about all of it. And in his defense, he said on that live stream, he regrets pulling that head out of the crypt. He doesn't know what he was thinking. He was younger. He shouldn't have done it. He said the same thing about Bone in the Wall. He was younger. He shouldn't have done it. But as a curious 16-year-old, I wouldn't have ever put my hand into somebody's coffin and grabbed their head. As a paranormal investigator, somebody that loves the paranormal, it doesn't enter my mind to stage anything, to bring in the views, to maximize the views, and maybe that's my own fault. But I've been doing this a long, long time, not always on camera, but I have never faked a damn thing when it comes to the paranormal. There's the difference in morals. I wouldn't try to fleece my audience. Yes, I have got things wrong. Yes, I have said things that are out of order. Yes, I have upset people. I mean, there's a Smug Puppy video. It might already be out by the time this goes out. And people are going to be upset and angry at that because I make jokes about the state on his house. But when you've been raking in the money from TikTok and YouTube for the last 3 years and you've still got shredded wallpaper and mold on your walls, there's a danger to you and your family. I'm going to take the piss because stop buying camera equipment and clean your fucking house. I'll stand by that, and if people think that that's me bullying, I don't know, watch someone else. The be-all and end-all of this is you're pissed at the Ouija Brothers for going live and discussing an event that held their careers back, that got them death threats and hate and all the rest of it for years. And you are trying to defend your actions when all of your actions are what caused it in the first place, and it is all based on lies. The bone in the wall was a lie. It was a hoax. You defended it for so long and went at anyone that called it fake, knowing it was fake. And as a paranormal viewer, as a debunker, to pull off a hoax that big, to end up in the newspapers, to end up causing all of this drama that's still going on 6 years later, and to have defended it for 6 years, knowing you were lying, means that for me, any fan of the paranormal that takes it seriously, that wants to see some proof, should really dismiss your channels immediately because you faked the biggest event in the last decade in the UK paranormal. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, why are you covering drama? Defending my friends. Why are you covering this? Nothing to do with you. It is one of the biggest paranormal events in the last decade. Came out to be a hoax 6 months ago, and the drama keeps rearing its head. It was fake. So yes, as a debunker, as a reaction channel, as a friend of the Ouija Brothers, I want to get my thoughts out on there. Andrew, please, for the love of whatever you believe in, stop getting so drunk that you lie to thousands of people. And while you're doing that, and while you're saying, hey, the Ouija Brothers and this, that, the other, they're riding my coattails, whilst you're live, maybe have a look at their live, because you're like, the Ouija Brothers need me. The Ouija Brothers are using drama for this, drama for that. They're skimming off me. They were streaming to double the amount of viewers that you do. And they do that every time they go live. For the most part, Andrew, I stream to more people than you do. When I'm doing my hangouts and just chatting segments and stuff, I stream to more people than you do. So no, none of us are grifting off you. We're all doing just fine without you. We're just allowed to have a voice. Your side of the community doesn't run the paranormal anymore. Way back when all of this happened, there were no debunkers, or there was certainly no debunkers involved in it. Well, now there is. And I will defend the real paranormal teams to the hilt. I know they will defend me. You and all of the groups surrounding you that protect each other and are like, haha, we're untouchable. You're not untouchable anymore. There are debunkers that will cover all of those, any of you channels, and call you out for exactly what is going on in them without a care in the world. And that is a good thing. It is a good thing to have a balanced counter opinion. We all support the real paranormal teams. And before you say, oh, you're supporting them because of this, that, we support them because they capture fuck all for the most part. Be all and end all of it. They capture fuck all. They don't run around screaming. They don't pull body parts out of walls or graves or any of the rest of it. They don't go for the shock value. And, you know, is there a little bit of clickbait here and there? Of course it is. You know the YouTube game. But you can't call them out for that with the shit that you've done. So do please leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. I know I shouldn't have to say it. Don't go giving him hate. Don't go giving the Ouija Brothers hate. Try to keep it polite and respectful. But at the end of the day, people are going to have opinions on both sides. You're welcome to those opinions. If they go against terms of service, I'll remove them. But if you want to come in here and slate whoever, fine. As long as it's within the terms of service for YouTube. I don't remove comments unless they break terms of service. Or, on occasion, there is an idiot that will get on my nerves. Like that stupid lady that is insulted by everything I do. She still pops up now and again. You're a hater. How dare you make sure nobody's alone for Christmas? The fucking whinges she goes on. Much love to you all. Beardo out.
Shame you can't all get on with each other instead of bitching. We are all after the same thing, proof of the afterlife.
No. That's where you're wrong, Linda. Because we are not all after the same thing. Some people are after money, and some people are after the truth.
Damn!